Much better. Okay, I'm going to spend 15 minutes tuning up, so.
First the jar, now this.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you're becoming a regular.
I'm trying. So most people don't, most people here seem like they're professional or semi-professional. I was a director in the government and a manager, an IT manager.
You're forgiven.
I know, right? And I feel bad about it too. But yeah, I got out of that, 6 years ago, I guess. And so on that topic, the two songs that I'm going to sing today both have a linkage. They're both sort of faith-ish songs. And a lot of people, when I sing songs that have a spiritual edge to them, they say that, it's you play faith music. And I think I've mentioned here before, according to a family legend, I was born with a curse. And it's not like a storm cloud over your head curse. It's more like a very specific curse. And it became clear to me 6 years ago when I was in the government that there was something to this curse. So when I dropped out of the government, I started writing about it. And I started doing all the things that I like, playing music more and stuff like that. So I'm coming out with a series, hopefully by the end of this month, called the Blood Curse series. That will be a weekly series where I'll write different things about both the family curse, how it happened, and how it's affected my life. Trying to squeeze something out of the curse legend for what it's worth. So the reality is that because of this curse, my mom, when I was a kid, would take me to all kinds of, she was very Catholic, devout Catholic, but she would still, this is a Hindu shaman that cursed her father, who was a lawyer, who worked for the British colonial people and apparently was corrupt. So he got cursed, and this curse travels down the bloodline of everyone that is descended from my maternal grandfather. So she would take me to different people and do blessings, give me medals, and constantly trying to sort of push back on this curse. And I don't know what happened, if it's the curse or the stuff she did, but I've had a really witchy life. Right, stuff happens to me. So when people say, it's faith-based, I kind of say, well, it's really experience-based for me. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in the second song. But yeah, so look for the series. This is Easy Like Sunday Morning, which for me is a special song because I like to sit on Sunday mornings in the town square where I live and play it and think about how good my life is now that I'm trying to take things easy and focusing on my spirituality. I know it sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. Girl, I'm leaving you tomorrow. Seems to me, girl, I've done all I can. You see, I beg, stole, and I borrow. Yeah, that's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. Sunday morning. I'm easy like Sunday morning. Why in the world would anybody ever want to put chains on me? I paid my dues to make it. Everybody wants me to be want me to be, but I'm not happy when I try to fake it. No, no, no. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. Sunday morning. so high. I wanna be free to know the things I do are right. I wanna be free, just me, babe. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. I'm easy like Sunday morning. I'm easy like Sunday morning. All right, so I got a tune for another 15 minutes here. This guitar is very susceptible to going out of tune. So this song goes back to one of the things that my mom did that put me on kind of an odd path. So there is a medal that she gave me when I was in my 20s. And it's called the Miraculous Medal of the Virgin Mary. Has anyone heard of it? So that medal is aptly named because it's associated with miraculous stuff happening, right? But me being 20 years old, when my mom gave it to me, I just stuck it in my pocket and I was like, yeah, whatever, thanks. You know, I wasn't in that place of mind to think much of it. But a couple of years later, I went through a string of just bad things happening in a row. My car got stolen. Then it was in a police chase, and I got the car back, and it was totaled. And then I found out that the girl I was dating, who was in medical school, was cheating on me with her lab partner, and who was also engaged to someone else. And then on top of all that, I lost this medal that was in my pocket. So I was like, oh, you know, that's not good. So I took a day off, and I went to the church that my mom used to take me to. And I go up to the church, and the church is locked. I'm like, really? The one day I show up, and the door's locked. So I walked around the side of the church, and I sat in front of a statue that I did not know at the time was the same statue that is on that miraculous medal. And it's Mary standing on a globe, crushing the head of a serpent, supposedly. However, in my research, I found out that there's this goddess figure in other religions, like Isis supposedly appears on a ball of light that's carried on the head of a cobra. So it's the same three elements, woman, globe, and a serpent. So then I went and checked the Gnostic stuff, and I was like, do you have something like this? And yes, they do. There's a woman riding on like a dragon thing on this sphere of light. So there's this continuity in this image. But anyway, so as I'm sitting there thinking about this medal, I kind of swooned. I don't know how to describe it, but I was in this intense gold light with green and sparkly things in them. And I had this feeling like just complete calm. Like, I tell it to people, like when you plan something over months and it's finally done and the final thing is done, you're so happy that you have that sense of relief. It was that times a million. It was that distilled and made into a drug. That's how intense it was. And this message was spinning through my head saying, everything is always okay. Even when it's not okay, it's okay. And it was saying that not in words, but in the meaning of the words. And when I opened my eyes, there was another medal between my feet of the one I lost. And then I went home and I found the one I lost the same day, so now I have both of them. So, and that was the first of many things like that that happened. And I couldn't really talk about it working for the government. You kind of have to put that stuff in a box, right? So now that I've gotten to a point where I'm outside the government, I can talk a little bit about it. So this song is called Sweet Mary. It's tied to that, and I've often talked about having 3 big I love you relationships. A woman named Mary was the middle one. And it was a mix of her and that experience. I've never played this song in front of people before, by the way. At the end of the day, it's the birth of the night, as we drift into darkness. I see a girl with the sun in her eyes. Her love's an open door. I walked through before and it feels so soft and familiar. When the darkness falls, she loves me like moonbeams reflecting the sun. Sweet, sweet Mary, shine your moonbeams on me. Sweet, sweet Mary, I know I'll be fine if you just keep shining on me. 'Cause there'll come a day when the light burns away and the lights all gone. Thy kingdom come, until then thy will be done. Sweet, sweet Mary, sweet, sweet Mary. 'Cause there'll come a day when the night burns away and the lights all gone. So bathe me in moonbeams, you're much more than you seem. Wake me up in a new dream when the morning comes. Sweet, sweet Mary. Thank you so much for listening.
You feel pretty shy.
Can I unplug?